My ex-best friend copied my entire personality for years until I gave her something original to copy. I've had a human mirror since freshman year of college, my ex-best friend Delaney. And I don't mean that in the flattering, we're so alike kind of way. I mean it like if I changed my major, she'd be in the advisor's office the next day. If I dyed my hair green, she'd show up to class with the exact same shade. If I started yoga, she'd appear at my studio with a better mat, newer gear, and already knowing the instructor's name like they were old friends. We met freshman year, living in the same dorm and bonding over late-night study sessions and shared pizza. She seemed cool, maybe a little eager to fit in, but who wasn't back then? I remember thinking it was sweet when she asked where I got my favorite sweater and showed up wearing the same one, but by junior year, it got unsettling. I switched from business to marketing. Delaney announced her switch 2 weeks later. I started dating this guy named Justin, and she suddenly developed an interest in his roommate. She started using my catchphrases, my hand gestures, ordering my exact Starbucks drink. The worst part was how she'd gaslight me about it. Great minds think alike. She'd laugh when someone pointed out we were basically twins. Meanwhile, she was literally becoming me, piece by piece. After graduation, she started dating Justin, my ex Justin. She took him to our restaurant, ordered our appetizer, even used the nickname I'd given him. She showed up to our friend group's reunion wearing my perfume, styling her hair like mine, telling my stories about my grandmother as if they were hers. People actually started calling her by my name sometimes. The final straw came when she posted on Instagram about getting into Colombia for her master's. The caption was word for word the personal statement I'd written about my grandmother's death and how it inspired me to pursue marketing. My grandmother who raised me. My grandmother who died holding my hand and telling me I was destined for great things. Delaney had met her once. When I confronted her, she tilted her head and said, "It's not like you own words. We've been through similar things." That's when I knew she'd never stop. Not until she'd completely absorbed everything that made me who I was. So I made a plan. I'd noticed her pattern. She always waited exactly 2 to 3 weeks before copying whatever I did, like clockwork. So I started dropping hints about getting a meaningful tattoo. I posted inspiration pics on my stories of the worst designs imaginable, but acted like they were profound. There was a butterfly emerging from barbed wire that was transformative, a misspelled quote in cursive that spoke to my soul, and tribal patterns that meant absolutely nothing. I researched the absolute worst reviewed tattoo artist in town and found some guy who worked from his garage and had reviews warning people to stay away. I posted about booking with him and gushed about his raw talent and how he understood my vision like no one else could. Delaney hearted every post. "So beautiful," she'd comment. "Can't wait to see the final result." I wore temporary tattoos for weeks and showed them off at every gathering like they were real. The massive design on my forearm said, "Strength through adversity," with clip art butterflies and random tribal swirls that looked like something from a bad 90s flash sheet. I told everyone it represented my journey, my growth, my authentic self, and I even staged photos at that sketchy tattoo parlor to make it believable. 2 weeks later, right on schedule, Delaney posted about her tattoo appointment with the caption, "Finally taking the plunge," and thanked me for inspiring her to be brave. She went to the same sketchy garage artist I'd pretended to use because she thought his raw talent was worth the risk. Throughout the day, she posted stories of the process, showing the stencil on her arm and telling everyone how meaningful this moment was for her. Her meltdown 3 hours later was spectacular when someone commented that she'd misspelled strength and through and adversity. She tried to delete it all, but screenshots were already circulating through our friend group. She posted 5 different stories trying to explain it was an artistic choice before finally going dark and disappearing from social media. Our mutual friends started texting me the screenshots, asking if I'd seen what happened to Delaney's new tattoo. She blocked me on everything after realizing I'd only ever had temporary tattoos and started telling people I'd tricked her and manipulated her. She called me toxic, but she couldn't explain why without admitting she'd been copying me all along. Last I heard, she'd spent thousands trying to fix it, but the cover-up attempts just made it worse and turned it into a dark blob of regret on her arm.